Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hello there. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think total 9 students. There only 11 students joined. I think from here, Hinamulla, you already registered. Callum, can you raise a small thumb up? Those who registered already. Put thumb up. Eka dana pulan the register. Can message at least send a message. Okay. Okay. Niroshan Hari. What about others? Sanduni not registered. Sandan Myronathan. Okay. Namla registered, right? Okay. Guys, here today I'm going
Yes, sir.
to conduct an orientation program about the upcoming courses. And is it okay if I conduct the session in English or Sinhala? Which language is preferred for you? Is if everyone can understand
English, okay, sir.
English better, right? Can you manage with little English
Yes, sir.
better than Namula? You can manage, right? Some
So English, okay, sir. English, I am native to Tamil, but English, okay for me.
Okay. Oh, guys, here. Okay. Okay, very good. Today, my brother Prasandan Sandoni. Okay, still joining. Okay. Guys, here. We are at Skillsurfacademy. Right, this academy actually I started. I'm doing this since 2018. Right. This actually I'm going to start batch number 39 and 40th batch. Okay, almost more than 400 students. Okay, they learned different, structural, not only structural design, some kind of quantity course and technical detailing, right? Almost more than 500 students, right? Now, yeah, if I go, I think,
Sir, excuse me.
yes.
You already set up your camera focused to your face, so it is.
Focus to
I
the
think we are
whiteboard,
not able to see.
whiteboard. Okay.
Ah, okay, okay,
Okay,
sir.
focus to the whiteboard. If it's necessary, I think if it's required, I will off
Okay, sir.
because I need to show something in the whiteboard. That's why I focus to the whiteboard.
Okay, sir.
Okay, yeah, I will
Okay, sir. It's okay.
share the screen first, right? Can you see me the screen? Right here.
Yes, sir. We can see. Yeah.
Now the courses
Yes,
basically
sir.
that we conduct in this academy, right? Yeah, the course A, structural design of RCC. Now here basically, this I'm going to conduct at least minimum maximum 1.5 hour, minimum 1 hour, right? Within 10 minutes or within 5-10 minutes, you cannot gain any idea about the course, right? Because most of the students, some students they participated and they completed the course well, and they are gaining some industrial training also from the previous batch. Because I have a consultancy firm, and those who completed the course well, right? I will give some structural design to practice, right? So please be patient, guys. Make a product receiving in on at least 1 hour. Okay. You have to be patient. Okay, 1 hour. Just what idea came, right? Today, what I'm going to brief about the courses and how I deliver the material, how I deliver the course. I'm not going to conduct any session today. Okay, because this orientation program, orientation program, and I can spend only maximum 1.5 hour or 1 hour. So please, if you have any doubt, you can raise a question or you may ask any question, right? What I'm going to do is I will explain the outline of the courses and course content. What are the courses that I'm conducting here? Then you can decide which course you have to follow based on your knowledge and existing your situation. Means whether I don't know whether you are undergraduate or right, you are doing any chartered process or you are I don't know about you, right? Those who registered, I will contact them separately in the each course. For timing today, I will explain about the courses only. Right here, course code A means structural design of RCC structure. This is batch number 39 that I'm going to do here, future, right? And second course B, structural design of steel and composite structure. This is not scheduled yet, okay? Course C, code C, structural design of building using software, right? In this course, okay, batch number 14 is related to ETABS and SEP 2000, not STAT, ProSafe, PROKON, right? Course D, design of connection using softwares. We can do the design, I'll show later, right? And content serving technical detailing concept, right? Here, before I move to the course, right? Course content, I will give brief idea about the structural design. Put the idea then structural design sambandham about interest. Now here, look at this one. What is structural design? Because structural design, first we have to understand about this. Here, look at the screen. Process of determining the reliable structural system. Okay, for timing all of the video, the process of determining the reliable structural system. Here, I'll highlight some key points, keywords here. ඔගලන්ට මොකක්ද ප්‍රශ්න තිබුණොත් ඒ වෙලේ අහන්න. ඔගලන්ට මේ you can hear me, right? ඔගලන්ට මට ඇහෙනව නේද? clear නේද ඔගලන්ට voice එක නේ?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Determining reliable structural system. Okay, first I will highlight the keywords, then I will explain. Selection of suitable material and determining of optimum member sizes for the structure to build. Then ensure that the structure will perform satisfactorily during its design life. Yes, it said perform satisfactorily during its design life. This is very important. Now look at the keyword. Process of determining reliable structural system. What does it mean? Reliable structural system. Here I will show some structural models. Now here, why we build any structure? You can for like a commercial or whatever, residential type, whatever it is. But there are some purpose, right? For example, let's say here, I will share the entire screen now. Hey, look at this structure. Structure. Yes. This is one of kind of like a cinema theater. Yeah, look at this structure, right? If I take a cut section from this, the mega cinema theater, like a cinema theater. So here we need higher span. We cannot put any columns at the middle, right? We cannot put any columns. Are you agree, guys? If it is a cinema, can we put any columns in the middle?
No.
Yes, very good.
No.
Yes, correct. Then this structure, this based on the purpose of the structure, as a design engineer should think how to arrive the, how to arrive the material, how to arrive the spans, right? That is a basic general knowledge to have on the structure engineering, right? Now here look at this roof, right? The roof, how roof structure, we put some kind of a trusses, right? And later on we can put some cladding and we can close it up. That is one kind of structure. Now if you go consider another one, these are these projects of my knowledge projects. I'm not going to show everything, only I'll show few. Look at this one, make a high-rise structure. Look at this one. Structure. Can you feel anything? Make a pain or the mockery when a structure. Balla zoom again. Can you see any difference in this one structure? Can
There is no B.
Very good. Who told
There
this?
is no B.
Who told this answer? Inamula?
Yes, sir.
No, very good. There's no any beam, but here Here, see, we fear about we fear to erect the structure or slab without any beams. But here, this different scenario, very high-rise structure, I see. But to achieve the structural behavior, right, and as well as to consider safety, we have to design the structural element to suit the condition of the structure. For example, let's say as we know, we don't have any beams. So how this slab shear will transfer, how this slab movement should transfer to the column, right? So that idea, you have to have an idea about the basic concept of the behavior of the structure, right? For example, let's say, you can see the board, right? I conducted physical Sri Lanka, right? In Nubegoda, but now I migrated, so that's why I'm doing everything online. Now here, look at this structure. If you draw a portal frame in pin connection, pin base, like a portal frame. Right? Another, like a small frame, put that down. For example, let's say if you apply some point load or whatever UDL load, then you will get this kind of bending moment diagram. Yeah, this value both should be equal. You can learn. But I'm not going to teach everything. But if it is fixed space, bending moment diagram something like this. What is the reason? Due to the fixation, right? Then what happens? But here, let's can anyone argue which is stable? Which structure is stable with respect to the load? Maximum 1 hour. I'll conduct 1 hour only. I'll try to finish it off. Maybe valuable time. Then here, why we cannot say that this base is pin, this base is fixed? Let's say due to the wind load, which structure is stable? What is stable? Can anyone say number 1, number 2? Which structure is very stable?
I think it's number 2.
Okay, Niroshan, number 2. What about others?
I think number 1, sir.
Good, okay, but here's it. That's why I told. I expect among Balapruthan answers, we cannot say this one stable, number 1 is stable, number 2 is stable. We cannot say that. Right? This is the idea. The entire energy, for example, let's say this is movement is 15 kilonewton, right? This structural system column, this movement should be there. Okay, we cannot dissipate the energy as a Newton law. Let's say this is 10 kilonewton, this should be 5. Overall bending moment is same. For example, let's say you have bending moment diagram. This is a WL squared by 8. This one, simple support. If you put a fixed support, as you know, like this, right? If you add this to WL squared over this is 12, this is WL squared by 24. If you add this to WL squared by 8, what I want to emphasize here is total energy of the structure should be equal. It doesn't depend on the condition of the supports. But what you have to do to make the structure stable, this foundation you should design for the axial load. Foundation. If you design this foundation axial load, it's okay. But if you design this foundation only for the same axial load, the structure is not stable. What you have to do? You have to design this foundation for the axial load as well as what? Mukad?
Movement.
Very good, movement. Then the structure is stable. What people do, if it's a pin based only for the lateral load, we put some bracing also to make a base connection. In this case, no need any brace because already base is fixed. So additionally, we can provide a brace if it's a pin. Why people normally do with the pin connection? If you are getting very huge movement for the base, you have to make the foundation very big and you have to provide more reinforcement. That's why in the, normally what we do, we put the pin base connection and we carry out the structural design. Okay, I can go more deep on that. This is a basic idea. That's why I told you. You have to, this is one simple example. You have to have an idea about the behavior. Behavior. Right? Behavior is very important. Okay. Oh, yeah, let's go to the steel part now. This is a concrete. No? Steel got that hammer. I'll give one good example. Wait. Here, this is steel structure. This is steel structure. Look at this connection. Connection in Gattama. I will mark in, I use some other color. Blue color. Okay, here look at this area, which I colored in blue. Whatever. Here, this beam is connected to the column. Look at this connection, like a end plate connection and a bolted. But here, look at this. Look at this. Here. Okay, I can show here. Right. Look at this one. This column beam is connected to the column. Like I have given the haunch plate and the end plate. But here this beam is connected like this. Can anyone guess the answer, suggestion? What? Maybe you will learn in ETABS. Why we have to provide like this? I will explain this in ETABS, not concrete class. That's why I told you, this is the orientation program for the both common courses. So that's why I am teaching become amalgamate color currently. That's why, because I need to explain this one. Those who are willing to learn ETABS. Then why I have given like this connection? Here, this is called what? Moment connection. This is called shear connection. Why? What is the behavior? What is the pain? Do you have any idea about this one? Let me explain. Make up this is like a structural behavior. Now here, what I have done. Now this is the movement resisting frame, let's say. And however, you have to transfer to the movements any other form, like a beam to column, whatever it is. If your base is fixed, definitely you have to fix the at least perimeter, peripheral beam or some kind of main beams you have to fix. For example, let's say make a layout. This is a layout, the column layout. Right? If I draw a beam, let me draw the beam in orange. Right? These are the beams, steel beams. What are kahang Local theory I'm not going to very big theory. Right? I'm going to draw another beams, another set of beams in green. Right? Here, look at this. I have connected this beam to column with a end plate, like a haunch, like a Have you seen like this, right? This beam to beam connection I have provided like this. Beam connection is something like this bolted. Let's say this point A, this point B, how point B is connected like this. Here provide the bolt like this, here bolt. What is the difference between these two, A and B? Then in this kind of movement resisting frame, I have transferred the movement to the column, right? Then this should be, orange beam should be movement connection. If I connect the beam like this flanges and with column, this will take the movement. The may beam make a movement connection dunnat tamai movement transfer. If you provide the movement connection here and here, this node, I'll circle it. I'll put a triangle. If you provide the movement connection, right, then only movement will transfer to the column. If you provide the shear connection here, then what happens? Movement will not transfer to the beam, only the shear force and axial will transfer. I will explain this only, make it detailed passing. But for time being, just have an idea about this. If you input this detail to the ETABS, if you release the movement, then only what happens? Movement will not transfer to the beam. Without having this knowledge, if you model any structure in ETABS completely, you will get the total different values, results. I will show later if I have time. So this is a basic idea about the steel, how steel beam and column is beam to beam house is connected. This is the basic idea about the steel, right? Very basic knowledge. Without having this connection, without having knowledge of this connection, you cannot do any design of steel structure. Now yeah, make a locust project me knowledge and ඔයාලට කරන්න බෑ මේ මේක ලොකු project එකක් you cannot do like this without having proper knowledge on this, right? Very massive project මීටර ලොකු project තියෙනවා වෙලා නැහැ පෙන්නන්න මේ this is the basic, that's why I want to emphasize here is reliable structure system එක keyword එකද මෙච්චර පැහැදිලි කරේ හරි ඇත්තටම it's not enough. So reliable structure system, that is why process of determining reliable structural system, selection of suitable material. Then here selection of suitable material means here let's say we are going to build a high-rise structure. High-rise project right? It's a very huge project. Let's say this is a car park area, right? Very local project high-rise. Right? What are the grades that we use normally for the concrete and columns and beams, guys? What are the use current grades?
25.
Okay, 25, basically 25. So if I use this grade 25 column for this here, is it reliable? Okay. Can we use? If someone asks, let's say this is a 10-story building or 12-story, 13-story, 14-story. So high-rise project කනකොට වෙනම concept එකක් මේක තියෙනවා ductility මේ එහෙම check කරන්න for the seismic මේ
I think it's more than
25. Why we use more than 25? Why we use more than 20?
yeah, because normally the high-rise building have much loaded. I mean 30 or 40 storage. So we have to extend the concrete at least more than C25.
Okay. The reason is correct. Answer is correct. If we use grade 25, you may have a very large column. Understand? I agree. Maybe 1 meter by 1 meter column. You have to cast.
Yes.
If you put 1 meter columns, all the area will spread with 1 meter column, then you don't have any access to the car park materials. So what we do, we increase the grade of the concrete, we reduce size of the section. It's a basic idea. Now, recording
I think it is not audible.
Okay, sorry. No, because no, where is going. Okay, that's what I told. Here, due to the progressive collapse, can make a one structure speed on this one. It cannot take this, sudden load and heavy load. Entire structure will collapse. So this kind of failure, so you have to be careful. So many examples are there. Okay, now and determination of optimum member size. Optimum member size, I think sort of. Now let's say, for example, you are going to cast a concrete beam 12 feet. What are the approximate depth we have to use? Does anyone have idea? Approximate height of the beams that we can use here. 12 feet beam, let's say 12 feet. How much?
I think there's a correlation between 1/3 of
1/3 of the height?
1/3 of 1/3 of the height. I think
12 feet.
exactly not remember.
Yes. 12 feet means normal simple support beam we can use to expand over 12. So 12 feet means if you by 12, 1. So 12 feet beam, 12 feet span, you can use 1 feet depth. Even bars, this experience, contractors, they know this. If 12 feet, 12 feet span beam, you have to use 12 inch. 15 feet span, 15 inch. Because these things based on some design manuals, I will show these things later when I go to class, conduct the course, I will share these things. So there are some thumb rule and design manuals. Based on that one, we can initially we have to size the member, then later we have to decide whether these members are okay or not. Okay. Okay, then next we'll go to the next one. Yeah, structural design. Here, look at this. This is a cycle. Structural design. What is structural design? Structural design should. This is the main conclusion. Concept is structure should serve intended purpose. Structure is safe, its lifespan. Structure should be economic. As a design engineer, the make of safety means it should not tail to this one. And intended purpose means arrangement of space or ceiling. Let's say, for example, if it's a classroom, like a dancing area, whatever it is, architecture has given this layout. If you provide these columns here, this flow, not functionality, right? Functionality or no, there's no functionality of this one because we provide the columns. Let's say students, those who are sitting here, they cannot see the board properly. Like as I say, cinema hall, cinema theater. So as a structural design engineer, you should fulfill the client's requirement as well, right? But while maintaining the safety of this structure. If you try to make this structure more safer, what happens? Structure will not economical because you use heavy members, right? And as well as structure will not serve the intended purpose as well. Let's say, for example, 12 feet for height. If you provide more than 3 feet beams, so you won't get any clear height, right? So as a design engineer, you should balance these 3 at a time. That's the duty of the structural engineer. That's why make a structural engineer course. Even if you didn't follow the course, okay, it doesn't matter, but you have to keep this in your mind. The structure should economical. Why? Yes, the clients, they are paying more money for you, right? They are paying money to economize, to save money, right? But what people they do, mostly structural engineers, they have some typical drawing, let's say 2, 3 floors. They have some typical drawings. What they do, they give the detailing based on that one. As a thumb rule, it should not be like that because they are paying money to save the material, right? Save the money. Then you have to save the material in terms of money. Then only structure will economic. As well as structures should be safe. if you use more slender element, structure will not safe, right? So therefore, you have to keep these key 3 points. Okay, you have to balance as a structural engineer. That's the main duty of the structural engineer, right? Okay, let's go this one. Here, this is the basic process. Before you start the design, you have to get the architecture floor plan, right? And you have to select the structural plan. What is structural plan? Now he will provide the general arrangement drawing. Architectural will provide the general arrangement drawing, right? Based on that one, you have to select the structural drawing, structural general arrangement drawing. Now let's see, I show an example. Recently, I started a new project in Port City. Can you please mute your mic, guys? Body time again. Yeah. Okay. Wait a little. I have to open auto get load and all. Okay. Yeah, first you have to prepare the general arrangement drawing. You have to get the approval for that one also. Approval gun owner. Okay, approval from the client, whatever it's architecture or mechanical MEP, MEP teams and client as well as architect. You have to get the approval from these three. If it's a very big project, small house doesn't matter. I can impact when but if it's a very big project, you have to get the approval from all with the client, architecture, and MEP because if once the structure is built, you cannot do anything. Yes, this is one ongoing project, structural design project. Here, client has given the day before yesterday, he gave me plan. Right? My draftsmen are working on this one. Here, I started to mark the column layout. Here, can you see the circle? Circle the pen was it? So
Yes,
why I do this one? Based on your column layout, if there are any deviation, right? Architecture doesn't know about this one. Client also they won't aware about this. Drawing issue drawing bill if it is not functionality, if it is not satisfied, then it will be a big problem. But no point. So here initially because columns place place in the columns. Whether it is going to clash with some other walls or whatever it is. So we have to think about the structural plan. Then only you have to move. After this, you have to move trial section. Assume self-pay. That's why I told you. For the beam section, you can use a thumb rule, and you have to set up the members columns. I will explain later on. Okay, column how to initially size the column, initially size the slabs. Otherwise, without having a section, you cannot do the design. And analysis for internal forces a member and member design. If member is passed, you can go to the final detail. This is the process. මේ process එකට තමයි අපි මේ process එකට අනුගත වෙන්න ඕන. Okay. You have to be very strict with this process. මේකට අනුව design කරාම මොකද issue එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? This is a basic idea. ගොඩක් තියෙනවා මේක පස්සේ කරන්න පෙන්නන්න. So then here because I have only few minutes. I'll course content එක කියන්න. හරිද? ETABS ගත්තාම for example ETABS පොඩ්ඩක් කියලා දෙන්නම්. Here if you ETABS වලට කලින් concrete ඉවර කරමු. Concrete content ඉවර කරමු. ඔයාලට මේ screen එක පේනවද? The PDF. Can you see the screen? Here in the concrete design class, what I do first, I will give a basic introduction about the concrete element. What are the material properties? What are the loadings we have to consider when you design the structure? Okay. එතකොට මේ lecture note එකක් පෙන්නන්න ඒක විතරක් පොඩ්ඩක්. I show one lecture note. එක lecture notes තියෙනවා. I didn't say anything තමුත් share කරේ නැහැ. Now here that පළවෙනි session එක. This is the first chapter. Yeah, introduction, right? Then what are methods of design? මේ ඔක්කොම කියලා දෙනවා. How to characteristic and design values for how to consider past safety factor from the beginning of the code. Code එක based on the code. In code එක arrangement කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Material property, how we use the material properties from the very basic beginning. So make a loadings. What are the loads you have to consider when you design any kind of structure, right? I will explain this chapter. And second, serviceability, durability, and stability requirement. Here I will explain how to use the minimum nominal cover, maximum. Here, for example, let's say when you study in the university, the exam, they might have given use 25 mm cover for the beams, 30 mm cover for the columns. You can array like that. I mean, when you design the real projects, you have to determine the cover as well, based on the environmental condition, based on the number of reinforcement, based on the number of size of this section. Based on that, you have to determine what is the cover you have to use. ඒකත් ඉතාමත් basic concept එකක්. නමුත් ඒක ගොඩක් කට්ටිය දන්නේ නැහැ. The load transfer is structural member. That's very important. Here, එකම කියන්න. Because these people are doing, method follow කරන්න නැහැ කවුරු. And the for let's say this is the one-way slab. This is the, let's say, two-way slab. One-way slab, what we do, half of the load will transfer here, half of the load will transfer here. This is the load path. Make it, let's say, 5 kilonewton per square meter. What we do, let's say this is 10 meter, this is 5 meter. How we calculate the load on this one? Some people, what they do, 5 kilonewton per square meter multiplied by what? Tributor with, am I correct? 5 divided by 2. Am I correct? Some student, they calculate the area of this one. 5 kilonewton per square meter multiplied by total area, then you will get the force with kilonewton and divide by span. This is what we have done in the university. You're still doing like it. But this method is completely wrong. Now, completely wrong, when you design a real project, you cannot use this one because you are over designing. How you are considering this load as well. So there's another theory, yield line theory. Based on the yield line theory, force transformation is different. Yeah, it is clearly explained in the BS code. एक मैं कट्टिट करना है. BS code में chapter में क्या देना? पढ़ा guys नाडी इसका कितना इन्ना ये करना बायन को. There's a formula as well here. Excel spreadsheet ඔක්කොම තියෙනවා. ඒකෙන් මේ කරන්න පුළුවන්. මේක තමයි load transfer මේකේ chapter එක. The chapter, right? You can see the screen. Yeah, this is the method what we used, okay? But we cannot use this one. You have to use this method. Loads on supporting beams from the two-way spanning slab. Here, there's some assumption. Okay, we have to ignore this load here. And there's an equation, separate equation beta V NLS. Based on this one, you have to calculate the uniform distributed load. And then you have to convert into complete UDL load on the entire beam. So this process different here. We won't use this method when you design the structure. May area calculate able to make half that multiply we won't use this method, either this one or this one. There's a separate method to calculate the load. That's why I have assigned another chapter, separate chapter. Then here after this tree, it will take time, at least 1 month time. Then only you have to move to the design of slab, beams, columns, and foundation, and analysis and design of medium rise building. I will discuss this one from here onwards. So see, you will start the design after completing the 3 chapters. Design slab, beam design slab, no use. So you have to learn this very basic concept first, then only you have to move to the design of slab, the design of beams, whatever. For example, let's say a PROKON product beam design have you used PROKON software? How use करते हो नहीं? How use करते? PROKON वही use करते हैं कौन PROKON? Have you used the PROKON software? No किया yes किया कथा कराना लगा
No, sir. No, sir.
Yes, look at this one. Make a PROKON software. Let's say if I put some section here, it will take few minutes. 300. If I give the span section length 3 meter, give support okay. Loads here, dead load. If I put make a become pen na 15 live load. If I put I will you explain manual calculation also. Manual calculation kiya over the design see. It will give the bending moment, envelope, maximum minimum shear reinforcement. Generate reinforcement, okay. Within 2-3 minutes, you can design the beam. If you see the 3D view, how the links are generated. This is very simple matter, but you have to calculate the load properly. What kind of load you have to assign? For the exercise class there's separate way. You can real project Look at this one. Have a look. Yeah. To design the beam, this much of process is there. Yeah. What are the dead load? What are the live load here? Make a look of process there. This should be done in Excel sheet. Excel sheet make a real design of its practice structure so mama there are some way Excel sheet yeah. But Excel sheet belong I definitely know you won't understand. Here finishes, services, live load, total dead load, total live load. Then only you can generate this drawing. Here, what are the loads coming on this beam? So the local beam beam GK, QK, separately I have given. GK, QK. Right? These are the coefficients. Based on this coefficient only you have to calculate the load. Have you heard about this process before? Atomic load calculator make a calling. Have you heard about this one?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Huh?
yes, sir.
No, sir.
Very
Yeah,
good.
I learned actually I learned from the design of concrete design in my subject in third year last semester. This is steps, the diagrams also.
Niroshan, right? Niroshan, is it Niroshan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Niroshan. Okay, very good. So, except Niroshan, what about others? Have you heard about this process?
No, sir.
Okay, that's why I told you. When you design
No.
kind of structure, beams are very critical in the concrete, structure. Very, very good. You have to be very careful on the detailing of the beam. Okay. Okay. Now, if you go to the ETABS, ETABS then we can wind up this one. Give me, guys, can we wait another 15 minutes? Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Not about
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thanks. Yes, you consider ETABS. ETABS I will explain structural analysis and design, very basic concept, and how to model the RCC structure, and how to model steel and composite. Make a composite structure design. And I will explain how to use the advanced tools. Advanced tools mean how to edit grids, view option, some meshing techniques, and finally we'll go to the structural design and how to apply the wind and seismic forces. These things will be covered in the ETAP. Like for example, pick a note a pen and here. Here we can properly arrange the lecture notes. I will show some sample lecture note pin and here I will explain each and every steps, right? How to calculate the loads, how to how to carry out concrete design, how to get the results from the ETABS, and how to generate the report. And here, when you use ETABS, when you assign the concrete slabs, there are 4 types of slabs are there. Membrane slab and shell type, shell thin, shell thick, and what about others? Can you ETABS membrane element, shell thin, shell thick, layered. So if you assign, let's say, for example, let's say if you have to assign the shell thin element for the slab. But if you assign the membrane, you will get the totally different value. Let's say, membrane element, shell element or different. Guys, easy. If you put a membrane element, look at this reaction 127, 107, 419, 527. Reactions are different, right? If you get the membrane slab, what is the concept of this one? The thin shell element the concept, thick shell element principle of application of slab types. Just it is a one session. Like a session it's about detailing. Let's say, for example, how to detailing using the ETABS. ETABS detail class. This kind of drawing. So same beams, same element I will design in Excel as well. Rekat kila deno. Udaharan katta balan ETABS wala. මේක chapter වල මේ course content එක පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න ඕනද seismic wind එක හොඳට වෙනම කරනවා වෙනම session එකක්. How to apply the wind, how to apply the lateral load. Here look at. ඔයාලට පේනවද screen එක ETABS වල?
Yes.
Yeah, this is මේක ඇවිල්ලා I think in shell. This is a membrane slab. If I give the bending moment diagram, now load I think the slow, I have loaded many things. Look at this one. Now same view, same beam. If I take here, can you see the value 70 something? 17 pm. Here 16.7 second movement. But if you consider this one, 4.5 kilometer. There are significant difference in assigning the slab. Slab එක දාන විදිය, let's say if you consider this let's say shell type එක දාලා design කරලා results ගත්තොත් වෙන උත්තරයක් එන්නේ. If you assign membrane slab, you will get the difference. But there's a situation to apply, where to apply chain element, where to apply membrane. So without having this knowledge, very dangerous to use the software. Even when you buy a purchase ETABS, purchase කරනකොට they clearly mention we are not responsible for the structure. So එහෙම එකම කියනවා. දැන් බලන්න මෙතන let's say bending diagram එක මෙහෙම තියෙනවා. දැන් මෙතන analysis වල options තියෙනවා ගොඩාක්. Let's say if I off this degrees, active degrees of freedom වෙනස් කරොත් here how to, where to apply X is a plane element. You can plane එක කොහොමද run කරන්නේ 3D run කරන්න. ඒතර ගොඩාක් option තියෙනවා මම මෙතන දැන් wind ගත්තාම assign, unlock the model. Assign frame load, let's say define load pattern. You consider wind. Wind ගත්තාම here there are several codes. If you put assign none, you have to calculate the wind load manually. If you assign any code, there are ways to apply this wind load. Like what are the methods? ඔයාලා දන්නවද? කියන බලන්න. Diaphragm action තියෙනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ based on the coefficient ඒ method එක තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒ methods use කරන wind apply කරන්න පුළුවන්. We can use several options. So these things you have to learn. Without having this knowledge, you cannot use the software. Software modeling even anyone can do. Let's say for example like here now, when you do the steel structures, steel design in ETABS, right? Just one example, right? This is the beam, the 3D beam, right? This is steel column, right? We have some connecting beams there, connecting beam, right? Connecting beam. Now here, due to this connectivity beam, what happened? If you have a lateral movement for this beam, it should come like this. Now can you hear the lateral direction, not major, okay? Lateral direction. It's like lateral torsional buckling. So because we have assigned some pin, but okay, this, if you consider effective length, let's say this 6 meter beam, this 3 meter, this 3 meter. So this beam is unbraced here. Can meter unbraced length එක මෙයාගේ 3 meter for the lateral torsional buckling direction, right? Then how to give this input information to the ETABS? මේක example දෙකක් කියන්නේ කොහොම කරන්න බෑ ළමයි. ඒ හින්දා මේක just කියලා දෙන්නම් බලන්න. Let's say this is a steel beam. ඔයාලා මේ steel beam එකක්. මේක දන්නේ නැතුව ගොඩාක් කට්ටිය ඩිසයින් එක කරනවා ඊට පස්සේ මොඩල් කරනවා රන් කරනවා රිසල්ට්ස් ගන්නවා. You go design, you can see the screen, right? Can you see the ETABS screen? Oh, here design. Let's say design වල still frame design වල you design preference තියෙනවා. I have from the model. Right. තියෙන තැන පෙන්නන්න. එතකොට ඔයාලා then only you will get to know these things you have to learn. මට කතා කෝස් එක කරන්න කියනවනේ. මේ නමුත් if you are designing, right? ETABS somewhere කොහොම හරි මේව ඉගෙන ගන්න. There are some amples of methods you can use ETABS or sorry YouTube තියෙනවා. ඒ වලින් බලලා ඩිසයින් කරන්න ඕන. නිකන් ආවට ගියට කරන්න එපා. Here design still frame design මේ කොන්ක්‍රීට් එකක් හින්දා මේ ප්‍රශ්න වෙලා තියෙනවා. දැන් බලන්න. මෙතන these මෙතන තියෙන parameters. Effective length factor minor direction. If you assign this as a 1 means what software thinks, software company when lateral torsion eකට it will take the entire length. If you provide half of this one, then it will take 3 meter 3 meter. Example අතර කියන්නේ මේ වගේ parameters. This kind of parameters you have to input, especially if you are using StatPro, and definitely you have to give in ETABS. Somehow it will take automatically, but in steel structure when you do the ETABS in steel you have to give these parameters. මේ parameter දුන්නොත් තමයි යා හරියට මේ ඔය detail ටික ගන්න. මෙතන steel නැති හින්දා මේ ඒ parameter දෙන්න බෑ. I think I didn't open any steel model. Wait, here. Run කරන්න හරි. So this kind of very basic knowledge, basic information you have to have idea about the software. හරිද? તો මේව තිබ්බොත් තමයි මේ වගේ basic knowledge බලන්න පැයකට ගොඩක් දේවල් උන දන්න දේවල් කිව්වා. Similarly you have to learn little by little, guys, right? So here this when you if you want to design any structure ගත්තාම beam hari column hari steel beam එක design කරන්න ඕන, there are some ways to do. There are some parameters you consider කරන්න. Based on that one you have to arrive and you have to give a conclusion for the draftsman, right? So here I have done several projects, more than 78 projects. So total experience එකත් ඔයගලන්ට මගෙන් හම්බ වෙයි. You will get that experience and knowledge ගන්න පුළුවන්. And moreover, once you finish this course, those who are interested, not everyone, I can give any projects, train when කැමති කට්ටියට දෙනවා. හරිද? And moreover here, just visit our website. දැන් මේකයිලා batch 39 යන්නේ. ඔකට දැන් බලන්න කියන්නේ දැන් මාකටිං වලට කියනවා නෙමෙයි. ඉගෙන ගත්ත ළමයි. ඉන්නව ගොඩක්. මේක වෙබ්සයිට් එක පොඩ්ඩක් I think ඔයාලා වෙබ්සයිට් එක බැලුවද ගිහිල්ලා? Actually the website now only website ඉවර කරලා තියෙන්නේ. දැන් TV registration වලට දානවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයගලන්ට බලමු පුළුවන් certificate එහෙම arrange කරගන්න පුළුවන්. මේ මම පොඩ්ඩක් දුබායි වලින් හින්දා තව පොඩ්ඩක් මේ අර time එක issue එකක් තියෙන්නේ. So it is under the process. Okay, application ඔක්කොම දාලා then once it is done I can issue the certificate as well. Here once you register for this one course, you will get the access for this one. Here sector structural design, let's say BS 0. පොඩ්ඩක් මේක බලන්න ගිහිල්ලා ඒ Facebook අපේ මේ page එක visit our page මේ once it done I will explain how to course එක විස්තර කියන්න කොහොමද මේ කරන්න කියලා. දැන් මේ අතර page එක I think someone has hacked we at last month. page එක recover කරලා ගත්ත එකක්. අර ඉන්න 200 කරන කට්ටියක් මේක දෙපාරක්ම hack කරා. ඒතර මේක මේ පොඩ්ඩක් go through කරන්න මෙයාගේ මේ ඒ කියන්නේ ඉන්නකත කට්ටිය දාලා තියෙන comments. එතකොට our chartered engineers ඇවිල්ලා මේක chartered එක කරන්න ඇවිල්ලා මේක මේ ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. Here since this 2024 මේක සැරෙන්ද I told you I'm doing since 2018. එතකොට 2020 2000 corona කාලේ හිම හරි මේ just go through this one. Okay, the course fee course detail එක වෙන්නේ මෙහෙමයි පොඩ්ඩක් මේක තහල යන්න කට්ටිය ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මොකක් හරි ඕන details ගැන මේ course එකෙන් දැනගන්න තව if you need any details I will give some PDF notes also send me a request එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට lecture notes එකෙන් බලන්න දෙන්න හරිද ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඕන නම් then what here concrete design it is a 25 hours 8:30 to 10:30 PM Sri Lanka time 19th of April actually to be started here this week but ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් postpone වෙනවා 2 days per week Wednesday and Saturday 8:30 to 10 PM 1.5 hours විතර තමයි කරන්න ඒගොල්ලෝ because you are working that's fine 2 weeks per day මේක discuss කරලා වුණා මේක 2 hours දාන්න පුළුවන් ETABS same time Monday and Friday it starts on this coming Monday මේක next week වලට schedule වෙනවා course එක 37000 මේක මේ පොඩි issue එකක් කරලා තියෙනවා මේක 37000යි මම දාලා තියෙන්නේ 37000 so initially you have to pay 50% after the third or fourth ETABS නම් third session එක පස්සේ මේ concrete design after the fourth session ETABS third session this one මේ දාලා තියෙන third session කියලා second and third session but we can extend it concrete design එක fourth වෙනකන් යනවා because ETABS is 12 hours එක limited ඒ හින්දාම සමහර කට්ටිය ඉගෙන ගන්නවා softwares ගන්නවා details ගන්නවා කට්ටිය යනවා එහෙම ගොඩාක්ලා තියෙනවා මේ හින්දා third session පස්සේ second එක ගන්න මොකක් if you need an extension you can discuss with admin හරිද this is how we do the course මෙහෙම යන්නේ content එක පෙන්නවා those who registered we will send the course code student ID and the you have to register in the website also then only you can get the access to the PDF ඔක්කොම දාන්නේ මේකේ I will upload all the details in the website only but I will once you have to register I will explain the first day how to register and all right මේකදී කියලා මේක orientation එකක් ඉඳලා කියන්න බෑ those who registered I will give access to the website and Excel sheet I will share please explain difference between the sub 2000 ETABS yeah only for civil engineering profession of course till now this for example let's say if you are a mechanical engineer බලන්න මේක මේ connections and design වලට අමතකුණා once you design the ETABS you have to design these connections from this software අතර මේ software එක වෙනම course එක අර connection design කරන එක දැන් බලන්න different එක softwares තියෙනවා now we are not doing any manual calculations but you have to have idea about the manual calculation if you are a mechanical engineer you can use this software to design the connections civil engineers also we can use but basically this course is course for the civil engineers only what about other what is the yeah SAP 2000 and ETABS different is SAP 2000 is a multifunctional software. Like you can design the build like any kind of like let's say cold form structure, aluminium, and then multifunctional like bridges. But ETABS is specially designed for the buildings. We can design the trusses and bridges. There are some we can user friendly. ETABS is user friendly for the buildings. This connection, model just make you have to apply the load, just run kara me result එක දෙනවා. දැන් මේ වගේ softwares තියෙනවා මේ මේ ගොඩාක් දෙන්න දන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් connections එක design කරනකොට we can use this. හරි. දැන් මේක run කරනකම් ටික බලමු. Do you have Excel? I will provide Excel sheet. Okay, yes, correct. I will provide Excel sheet දෙනවා. And මේ මේක දෙන්නේ post කරන කට්ටිය පොඩ්ඩක් theory කරනකොට ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් confidential තියන්න ඕන. ඒක ඔක්කොම හංගන්නේ ඔක්කොම ඔයාලට දෙනවා. ඒකට ඒවා ඔයගොල්ලන් විතර තියාගෙන බලන්න. Lecture videos also I will provide, but it will expire within 3 or 4 days. So you have to watch it before 3 or 4 days. එකනේ videos අර තියාගෙන දෙන්න හැ. කියන බැච් මේකනේ මම කියව විදිහට I am doing since 2018. What people do, they are saving the videos. Now here previous in the batch 15 students they joined, and I'm not going to mention the batch number down here. It's not good, but I'm saying why I'm doing like this. After that, after 3 or 4 days, almost 5 people left. Then later I heard about this one. They are taking because they need to get the second installment. So what they did, only one guy has joined, and he shared the documents with the other among 4 students. ඒක ඔයගලන්ට ඒක නෑ. කරන්න හොඳ නෑ ඒක. Because you have to give respect to the knowledge also. So ඒ වගේ ඒවා කරන්න එපා. I give the video within 3 days you have to watch. If you want to keep it with you, you can have a screen recorder. මම එපා කියන්නේ. Screen recorder එකක් දාලා record කරලා තියාගන්න. Officially I'm giving, but I will give the videos to viewers. You කරන්න දෙනවා within 3-4 days link will expire. Right? But if it is missed, miss වුණා නම් no, we can provide the video, no issue, but group එක කොහොමද දාන්නේ? Suppose let's say ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොකක් කරේ 20ක් කියලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට දවස් 4කට let's say if you're not available 4 days, if link expired, we cannot help. අපි කරන්න මොකක්ද? We will give the separate link for the individual person to download. ඒ වගේ options තියෙනවා. Okay, lecture notes එහෙම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඕන නම් request කරන්න මම දාන්න. Okay, if you want to register, ඒ කියන්නේ course content එක බලන්න බලලා මේ decide කරන්න. Do you have any doubts, guys? What do you think about this for introduction? කියන ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මොකක් කරේ? මේකෙන් මොකක් හරි ඉගෙන ගත්තද? ඒක වැදගත්. Even if you didn't follow the course, no issue. Idea එකක් ගත්තා නම් මේ කියන්න. Okay? අහන්න සතුටුයි. Anything else?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sir, මගේ final year project එකට මම මේ structural design එකක් කරන්න ඉන්නේ. මම මේ SAP එකෙන් හරි ETABS එකෙන් හරි. එතකොට sir මට steel එකක් නම් මම joint එක design කරද්දි මම කොහමද ETABS එකයි අර idea connect කියලා sir පෙන්නුවේ joint design කරන එක. ඒ දෙක join කරගන්නේ කොහමද? මම මේ එකකින් කරලා මට අනිත් එකෙන් joint එක විතර design කරන්න පුළුවන්ද එහෙම?
පුළුවන්. ඒක මෙහෙමයි. ETABS වලින් forces ගන්න ඕන. අරගෙන මෙන්න පෙන්නන්න. ETABS වල force අරගෙන අපි membrane force ETABS වලින් ගන්නවා. හරිද? අරගෙන Excel එකට ගන්න ඕන. හරිද? මම කියලා දෙන්නම් ඒක. ඔයාලට course එක focus කරන්න නැතුණට කමක් නෑ. මේක උදව්වක් ඕන කියලා මම help කරන්නම්. Zoom meeting එකක් දාන්න. ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. ඒක this is not based on the salary, based on the money. සඳුනිට ඕන නම් මේක කියලා අහගන්න මම request එකක් දාන්න මම කියලා දෙනවා කරන විදිය. මේක විතරක්. හරි? So
ඔව් සර් මම මේ course එක follow කරන්න හිතන් ඉන්නවා අර මේ ETABS එකයි SAP එකයි කරන එක.
හරි.
ඒක කරලා සර් මම මේ පුළුවන් වුණා සර්
මේක එතකන් ඉන්න ඒ කියන්නේ හදිස්සි නම් මේක මම කියලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්. හරි. Here
හරි
we have to model this one and then what we have to do XLX import කරලා මෙතන මේ paste කරා නම් හරි මේ axial shear moment ඔක්කොම paste කරනවා. paste වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මේක run කරන්න තියෙනවා. මේ Excel අපි import කරන්න කොහොමද? How we import in the ETABS? Here look at this one. Yes. What we have to do? मैं अनित काटे प्रश्न है मैं साधनी पट्टी में डाउट टैग क्लियर कराने इज इट ओके गाइस फुड्डा क्या उद्धव करो
Yes, sir. It's input board. No problem.
ओके हियर you have to select this beam control T press करा here then we will get the display like this मैं कर रहा हूँ एक क्लॉक को लोड कर लेंगे बड़ा स्लो है एक here then you have to go to element output frame output okay till can you Sandhani can you hear can you see the screen right
yes
click the beams click OK then total it will you will get the table මේක ඔයා දන්නවද මේක කරන විදිය අහලා තියෙනවද
ඔව් මම අහලා මම සැප් එක කරලා තියෙන සර් ETABS නම් මේ කරලා නැත
SAP එක same export to Excel then we have to arrange the forces based on the ideastatic input ඒකට නම් මේක arrange කරලා Excel එක ආවා here what we have to do like we have to arrange this force guys but for timing I will show we have to arrange which station 0 1 2 like that which station you have to exact the force that you have to select kara copy then you have to go to ideastatica XLS import copy paste then with the paste una okay that force is ETABS force will import to ideastatica then you can
okay
this how okay we can do like that any other question guys pick how we then we can take this we will start the course by this Monday but we have to register we try to register before Saturday because we have to may filter the group the already filter කරලා තියෙන්නේ we have to that's why we are telling to pay and register before the start the course because I have to provide the softwares and student registration now your registration ID will start from 455 something we have to arrange करना set up करला तब course पे पटांग हम that's why we are telling to register before so if let's say if there is issue with the money and payment please inform me take a date and request करला money के ना don't worry about the money के नहीं तारने पड़ा दिया class का join करना और पास से और लग गया පුළුවන් එක financial issue එකක් තියෙන කට්ටියට හරි ඒ මේක තියෙනවා බලන්න හරි මේක මොකක් හරි is there anything else guys what do you think about the introduction මොකක් හරි to be honest what you can say කොහොමද කරන්න ඕනේ මොකක්ද හිතෙන්නේ ඒ කියන්නේ ETABS කරනවා නම් මේ when you designing ETABS there are some parameters there are some things you have to keep in your mind just google it go through karana then here the some correct parameters how to put some correct parameters තියෙනවා කොහොම කරලා හදන්න ඕනේ but ETABS will give totally different results if you are not assigning proper design parameters so be careful because why I am repeating the same thing there's many engineers they do many mistakes in the software analysis manual calculation is 180% is in our hand software analysis is not like that right pin connection fixed connection maru karana entire structure behavior different this I told now here if you provide the moment connection here let's say moment connection karana what happens? Additional torsional movement will transfer to this beam. So you have to design this beam, this connection for the torsional movement as well. But if you assign the pin connection, suddenly I think you might know this one, right? If you assign pin connection, only suddenly run on it.
Oh, sir. Then.
If you release the moment here, only the axial force will transfer to this beam. Maybe you transfer axial force with the so no need to design for any torsional movement. The torsion design करना भी movement का design करना, torsion भी design करना. So beams when you design this one, you have to especially in the steel structure, you have to take care about the lateral torsion buckling due to the temperature and the wind load. It will try to buckle lateral direction. So what we do, we provide some composite beams. Composite beams, they sit down. So we provide some shear stud. How to assign? We can put this shear stud in ETABS also. So how to assign this shear stud to control the lateral direction. If you want to continue because no issue, but learn these things. Ample of sources are there, YouTube, so Google, ChatGPT thing. एक बार खोलने में दाने खोलने साइन कराने what the behavior make a dunna behavior. So composite, what is the difference between composite and the conventional RC? There are because here we have a composite action between, because this concrete and steel beams acting together. If you didn't provide the shear stud, steel beam different, behavior is different, concrete slab behavior different. Let's say if you use 600 mm height beams, here you have to use more than 600 definitely, right, to get the beam pass. So there are ideas, knowledge, gun software use karno. Okay, let's wind up this session because I don't have time, 9 o'clock. So anything else, guys? Hari, it's session wind up karno. Then okay, good night.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, good night. Bye.
Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, good night.